Hello everyone, I'm Greg Otta with FedScoop TV, and we're here at the Data Innovation Summit today, and there are few people better to talk to about data in the government space than the Deputy Chief Data Officer at the Department of Commerce, Lynn Overman. Lynn, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, open data, big data, enterprise agility, a lot of buzzwords being thrown around in this space. Is it noise or is it a signifier of progress?
I think it is a signifier of progress. It's also a signifier of significant challenges that we're facing. Commerce is a little bit different from other agencies, and I think we're interesting in that respect because most other federal government agencies very much have a particular mission, right? So the mission of the VA is to provide direct services to veterans. The mission of the Social Security Administration is to provide direct services to poor folks and folks who need Social Security benefits. We actually really are much more of a data holding company, so data has been core to our mission for a very long time. So for us, I think it's a much easier step to talk very aggressively about data being a part of our mission, and the challenges that we face are the challenges that I think a lot of federal government agencies face, which is, how do we collect data more effectively? How do we disseminate it in a way that's most maximally effective? But the other thing that I think is unique to the Department of Commerce is because we're not providing a direct service, we have a very fundamental question that we're asking ourselves, which is what is our biggest value proposition for the American public? Is it getting our data out for other people to build things off of, or should we be the ones building products? So because innovation in the private sector is often faster and more kind of responsive to the needs of customers, we're really struggling with where we draw that line between just dumping our data out and actually building things ourselves.
So with this innovation that comes from data, is a culture change where does culture change fall in the importance level with those challenges?
So it's interesting, and I give huge credit to two people at the department, although this was a massive team effort. Our secretary, Penny Pritzker, very quickly when she came into government 2 years ago said, we have this massive data inventory. It's a hugely valuable asset, and we need to do a much better job of getting it out the door. So she actually made data a key part of our strategic plan for the first time ever. And then Undersecretary for Economic Affairs, Mark Domes, who sits over Census Bureau and the Bureau of Economic Analysis, who are obviously two, and they're actually an interesting dynamic. Census does a huge amount of the collecting, and BEA pushes out data products that are hugely valuable. So GDP is kind of their flagship, but they do a lot. They actually consume and produce data on the economy that's like very, very well used. So Mark really got the whole data sharing thing. Mark got the need that we need to really kind of move past the ways that we've been doing business. And he spent a lot of time over the past year before I arrived at Commerce and before Ian Kalin, our CDO, got there, really doing the hard work of going from bureau to bureau to bureau and having these conversations. So we really walked in to an amazing foundation where folks understood that data was part of their mission, really got that it was something that we needed to be having active conversations about, so we didn't have to have those hard conversations and are able to talk to folks about, are there new ways that we can do business? How can we be most effective? How do we engage with our customers? I mean, one of the big challenges that we have is that we put our data out and it goes through multiple steps before people use it. So people don't know that that's our data. And there was this classic example a few years ago. Somebody, I'm not going to say who, it was a politician somewhere, said, well, why do we need NOAA anymore? Because we have the Weather Channel. I mean, it's a fair question, right? The Weather Channel has actually done a really great job of getting information to people. People access it all the time. It gives them valuable information. All of that information comes from NOAA. So you get rid of NOAA, you get rid of the Weather Channel. But that really is an example of a branding challenge that we have. So I gave the example in my speech about how all of the data that people have been talking about Baltimore, a lot of it probably comes from census. But folks don't know that. So as we're kind of being these great purveyors of data, how do we, for our own kind of institutional branding, how do we help people understand that that is what we are giving to them so that they are willing to reinvest in us to continue these really important missions?
How does mobile fit into this equation with the delivery of government services and interagency collaboration?
So mobile actually is we're at a really interesting point with mobile with Google. I'm not sure if you saw that about a week and a half ago. They basically changed the way that they index search results.
Yes, some people are calling it.
And government, frankly, we're really bad at mobile. Like, we do not have good mobile websites. And frankly, we don't have a lot of mobile websites either. We are very, very reliant on kind of traditional desktop websites as our primary means of communicating with the folks who come to us. So that's a huge problem for us. The other thing that I would say is we are lacking a certain set of technical skills at the government. So some of this is we've got really amazing folks, but when you're looking at Census or BEA, for example, or even NOAA, we have people who are kind of trained as statisticians. So data is a part of what they do, but they are not front-end developers, they're not user experience experts, they're not mobile app developers. So we've kind of taken the folks who have expertise and they've done an amazing job of kind of upskilling themselves into this new world, but we don't have the exact right kind of set of skills that we need to really move from taking those great products and that great data that they collect and making it meaningful in the modern age. So we're really working closely with the United States Digital Service. We're working closely with 18F to try to figure out, is there a pipeline of talent, of that new kind of talent that we can bring into government to work with our amazing subject matter experts? Because we think that combination of the two is going to be amazingly powerful, but we're not there yet.
So finally, talking about that talent, what do you think is needed from the next generation of IT talent that comes into the government? What is an area of expertise that they need in order to kind of get the most out of this data that we're seeing?
Sure. So I think one of the huge skill sets that would be unbelievably valuable is not necessarily the technical capacity, but the process.
Okay.
I'm actually not a huge process fan because I feel like especially in government, it gets in the way of getting things done. But there's actually a really important role that process can play here, and one of that is we don't engage with our customers in the way that we should.
Okay.
So the private sector delivers valuable data products because they have done a lot of work trying to figure out what is it that people need. We don't do that. We don't have to do that. We've never had to do that. We put our data out, people use it. So we're really good about talking to the people that we know consume our data. So we call them our super users. They're the folks who literally know who to call if there's a problem. They can pick up the phone and they say, oh, I need to talk to Lynn, or I need to talk to Avi at Census, or whatever it may be. But because we have so much data, because it's so valuable, because it can help people make decisions, we need to do a much better job of understanding our broader base of customers and how we communicate with them. And that skill set, I think, is something that we need to bring in. And then the other thing is this notion of agile, iterative design.
Okay.
The other thing that we struggle with across government is, and this kind of goes back to the customer feedback point, we anticipate what we think our customer needs. We spend about 18 months, and that's fast for us, right? In working groups where we talk to each other and we're like, okay, we've identified the problem. Let's spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out the solution. We build it, we launch it, there's a press release, and then we wonder why nobody's using it. Because in that entire process, we have not talked to a single consumer. So we've not actually asked them, do you want this? What would be the most helpful way of getting this to you? Let's try something really fast, get it out, get some feedback and improve it. So that process of kind of fail fast is not something that we do well in government. And I think if we want to actually move to the point where we're delivering services in a way that's helpful to consumers, we need to kind of import that knowledge.
Great. Great. Well, I look forward to seeing how you and Commerce, I know this is a big issue for the Commerce Department, and they've been tackling it for, I guess, about a year now, and I guess they're going to keep doing it.
Well, and technically since 1790, but
right.
in the modern era for about a year now.
Well, I look forward to seeing all that you guys are doing.
Wonderful.
Over there.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. For all of our videos, you can check out our YouTube channel, and for more information, you can check out FedScoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.